Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back again with another sequence video. I've grouped 4 of them together again. This is Psalms 46, 58, 68, 17 to 35, and Psalm 69. So start with Psalm 46. Again, for people, maybe who are seeing this one as the first one, the sequence is some of these parts. Salvation, a time of great tribulation, where the 2 witnesses are administering plagues, Christ returning with the elect, and then with the final wrath of God, and then the kingdom. And so that's the sequence that I was told on January 1st, 2020, and then I'm finding that everywhere, and then you see certain different varying amount of detail of that, but that sequence is honored, pretty much in every book of the Bible. It's incredible. Psalm 46, God is our refuge and strength, the very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. And so this is all, the birth pains, that are leading up to the time of salvation and represent salvation, for God's elect. And then so, just know that. So these first few verses represent the time where God is a help, for, his people in the time of trouble. Okay. And then we'll go to verse 4. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. So this is now when there's great tribulation. And then he's going to utter his voice by these UFOs in the sky. Revelation 14:6. And this verse is in 6. Okay. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. Okay. Now that's also referencing to when America is destroyed, by nuclear fire. And so verse 7, the Lord of hosts is with us. So now we have a reference to when Christ is returning with his elect. And this is in verse 7. The God of Jacob is our fortress. So now they return in like a fortified, strengthened state. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolations to the earth. This is now his depopulation agenda and destroying his entire left-hand side. He makes war cease to the ends of the earth. So now he's fighting against the entire earth. And it's not even going to be a fight. It's easy. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Okay. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. Okay. So this is the translation of kingdoms that's happening, at the end of Revelation 11 and 16. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Okay, so this is Christ returning with his elect to destroy everybody with the mark of the beast. Psalm 58. Do you indeed decree what is right, you gods, small g? Do you judge the children of man uprightly? No, in your hearts you devise wrongs. Your hands deal out violence on earth. Okay, this is when God will return, once this has reached a limit. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray from birth, speaking lies. So these people are programmed to lie, even the people that come by my channel. They have venom like the venom of a serpent, like the deaf adder that stops its ear, so that it does not hear the voice of charmers or of the cunning enchanter. O God, break the teeth in their mouths. Tear out the fangs of young lions, O Lord. Let them vanish like water that runs away, which he aims his arrows. Let them be blunted. And so we have a time here leading up to salvation. Okay, this is the ecosystem that creates salvation. Now we have a time where God is like shooting his arrows. And so what happens at the end of the Great Tribulation period is America is destroyed, okay, by these arrows, and read Jeremiah 50, verse 9, to explain that Iran is one of the nations that are part of that destruction. So let him vanish like water that runs away. When he aims his arrows, let them be blunted. That's America being destroyed, okay? And so we're getting coded language here for that. Let them be like the snail that dissolves into slime, like the stillborn child who never sees the sun. Sooner than your pots can feel the heat of thorns, whether green or ablaze, may he sweep them away. Okay. The righteous will rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He will bathe his feet in the blood of the wicked. Okay. So this is Christ now returning with his elect. After America is destroyed, Christ returns with his elect on these so-called UFOs. So beneath his feet, there's just going to be blood everywhere. Okay. And then we're seeing that here. The righteous will rejoice when he sees the vengeance. So the elect are going to be with him and seeing it. He will bathe his feet in the blood of the wicked. Mankind will say, surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely there is a God who judges on earth. Most of the people that come by my channel do not believe in a God of judgment, that he will judge anything, much less the entire earth. in the last days. Okay, so just know that the Bible's only for a very, very small number of people. Okay, and that's in 58:11. Okay, 69. You rotate the 9 is 66. That's for everybody with the mark of the beast. That's the final judgment. So, okay, Psalm 68:17. The chariots of God are twice 10,000, thousands upon thousands. Okay, these are God and his angels. The Lord is among them. Sinai is now in the sanctuary. Okay, so these are the rock of salvation, so to speak. If you watch Independence Day and you see these so-called UFOs in movies or whatever, it looks like a massive rock, flying in the sky. Okay, so that's the coded language. You ascended on high, leading a host of captives in your train and receiving gifts among men, even among the rebellious, that the Lord God may dwell there. Blessed be the Lord who daily bears us up. God is our salvation. So now we have a reference to the chariots of God are twice 10,000, thousands upon thousands. The whole sky is going to be littered with UFOs during the salvation event. That's God and his angels. Okay, our God is a God of salvation. All of the Bible is about salvation, which is tailored for God's elect. Our God is a God of salvation, and to God the Lord belong deliverance from death. We're in death here. It says that in the last days that death and hell are going to be cast into the lake of fire. Okay, so our body represents a form of death because it can experience death. Okay, and so deliverance from death means that you don't die. Okay, that's salvation. So just know that our God is a God of salvation, and to God the Lord belong deliverance from death. Okay, but God will strike the heads of his enemies, the hairy crown of him who walks in his guilty ways. The Lord said, I will bring them back from Bashan. I will bring them back from the depths of the sea, that you may strike your feet in their blood, that the tongues of your dogs may have the portion from the foe. I will bring them back from the depths of the sea. I'll bring them back. This is coded language for after salvation, Christ will return with his elect to destroy, like it's being written here, that you may strike your feet in their blood. So they're going to be below God's elect. Your procession is seen, O God, the procession of my God, my King, into the sanctuary. The singers in front, the musicians last. Between them, virgins play tambourines. Bless God in the great congregation, O Lord. O you who are of Israel's fountain. There is Benjamin, the least of them, in the lead. The princes of Judah in their throng. The princes of Zebulun, the princes of Naphtali. Summon your power, O God. The power, O God, by which you have worked for us, because your temple at Jerusalem, kings shall bear gifts to you. This is the time when Christ is ruling. Rebuke the beasts that dwell among the reeds, the herds of bulls with the calves of the peoples. Trample underfoot those who lust after tribute. Scatter the peoples who delight in war. Okay. Nobles shall come from Egypt. Cush shall hasten to stretch out her hands to God. O kingdoms of the earth, sing to God. Sing praises to the Lord, to him who rides in the heavens. Okay, on these so-called UFOs. The ancient heavens, behold, he sends out his voice, his mighty voice. Ascribe power to God, whose majesty is over Israel and whose power is in the skies. Okay. Awesome is God from his sanctuary, the God of Israel. He is the one who gives power and strength to his people. Blessed be to God. So that's insight into the kingdom, where this is the King of Kings. Okay. Everybody is going to be in alignment of who the king is, and that there's no issues. Okay. And if there is any issues, they're not going to be there. Okay. So just know that. And so just know that, this is all coded language, but also very, very prophetic to the kingdom, where Christ is in charge. Psalm 69. Save me, O God, right away, salvation, okay? For the waters have come up to my neck. I sink in deep mire where there is no foothold. I have come into deep waters, and the flood sweeps over me. I am weary with my crying out. My throat is parched. My eyes grow dim with waiting for my God. Some of God's elect will actually be blind, and so just know that that's actually literal, what's being written there. And so this is the time of tribulation that's on the earth right now. Hopefully that's very obvious. More in number than the hairs of my head are those who hate me without cause. Mighty are those who would destroy me, those who attack me with lies. Okay, this is the whole point of all these lies, is to attempt to deceive God's elect, but they won't be deceived. And this is in verse 4. What did I steal? Must I now restore? Question mark, it's rhetorical. Okay, we haven't done anything. Okay, this beast system was not our idea. Oh God, you know my folly. The things I have done are not hidden from you. Let not those who hope in you, let not those who put hope in you be put to shame through me, O Lord God of hosts. Let not those who seek you be brought to dishonor through me, O God of Israel, for it is for your sake that I have borne reproach, that dishonor has covered my face. I have become a stranger to my brothers, an alien to my mother's son. So this is when Christ says he brings the division. So this is the time during the Great Tribulation where God is now separating the rest of his right-hand side with the beast. Okay, and so just know that. So this is the time of division, okay, where there'll be strife within the family. For zeal for your house has consumed me, and the reproaches of those who reproach you have fallen on me. When I wept and humbled my soul with fasting, it became my reproach. When I made sackcloth my clothing, I became a byword to them. I am the talk of those who sit in the gate, and the drunkards make songs about me. So now it's a reference to sackcloth. The two witnesses will be wearing sackcloth according to Revelation 11. What a coincidence. It's in verse 11. Okay, so the Bible is not constructed by masons. Okay, it's absolutely incredible. Every single verse is placed there very, very precisely. I'll read verse 11 again, which is reference to the two witnesses, double meaning. When I made sackcloth my clothing, I became a byword to them. So they're going to be attacked, the two witnesses, and killed at the end of their time of prophesying for 1260 days. And so anybody that comes here with the true truth, God, the world hates them. Okay, and that's the whole point of this earth, because it's hell. But as for me, my prayer is to you, O Lord. At an acceptable time, O God, in the abundance of your steadfast love, answer me in your saving faithfulness. Deliver me from sinking in the mire. Let me be delivered from my enemies and from the deep waters. Let not the flood sweep over me, or the deep swallow me up, or the pit close its mouth over me. Answer me, O Lord, for your steadfast love is good. According to your abundant mercy, turn to me. Hide not your face from your servant, for I am in distress. Make haste to answer me. Draw near to my soul. Redeem me. Ransom me because of my enemies. You know my reproach and my shame and my dishonor. My foes are all known to you. Reproaches have broken my heart so that I am in despair. I look for pity, but there is none, and for comforters, but I found none. They gave me poison for food. Okay. And for my thirst, they gave me sour wine to drink. Okay. Let their table before them become a snare, and when they are at peace, let it become a trap. Let their eyes be darkened so that they cannot see, and make their loins tremble continuously. Pour out your indignation upon them, and let your burning anger overtake them. So now we're getting references to God's wrath and burning. Make their camp be a desolation. Let no one dwell in their tents, for they persecute him who you have struck down. For they persecute him who you have struck down, and they recount the pain of those who you have wounded. Add to them punishment upon punishment. May they have no acquittal from you. Let them be blotted out of the book of the living. Let them not be enrolled among the righteous. They will not be allowed in the kingdom, God's left-hand side. It is only for God's right-hand side, no matter what anybody else teaches. The Bible is absolutely consistent about that. And so let them be blotted out of the book of the living, okay? It's in verse 2:16. Okay, so this is people that are going to be destroyed, permanently, body and soul. And it's also in Matthew 10:28. Okay, and that's in verse 28. Okay, all these things are related. It's amazing. But I am afflicted and in pain. Let your salvation, O God, set me on high. So this is a group that has to go through the Great Tribulation, and they will experience pain. I will praise the name of God with a song. I will magnify him with thanksgiving. This will please the Lord more than an ox or a bull with horns and hooves. When the humble see it, they will be glad. You who seek God, let your hearts revive, for the Lord hears the needy and does not despise his own people who are prisoners. Lord hears the needy. Okay, that's the language that the God of the Bible listens to, okay? The poor and the oppressed. Let heaven and earth praise him, the seas and everything that moves in them. For God will save Zion and build up the cities of Judah, and people shall dwell there and possess it. The offspring of his servant shall inherit it, and those who love his name shall dwell in it, okay? And that's God's right-hand side, okay? There's no God left-hand side beating people over the head, beat them over the head or anything like that, okay? And then that's a reference to the kingdom, verse 34, 35, and 36. So, we have a time of salvation, we have a time of great tribulation, and then we have a time of the kingdom, being established here on earth. And so, again, just the Psalms are just a loop of the end times narrative. It's absolutely incredible. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.